Okay. All right. Good morning. So I've been toying with the idea of how we go back to a community type of society where people concern themselves with others from an individual or individualism, how we turn back. So instead of just thinking about what's good for you and that's it, thinking about what's good for the greater community. And I keep coming back to compassion, because that's where it begins. We have to nurture and foster our ability to be compassionate to others. And when we are compassionate to others, it comes back. It's how others learn compassion, from your generosity of it. So let's think about compassion. And the way we will practice it in yoga is to look at opening up our heart, our center for compassion, or Anahata chakra, and helping us to allow vulnerability, to allow openness. So close your eyes, let's come inside. Begin to deepen your breath. And with each deep inhale, think about filling up with compassion. And with each slow, long exhale, think about sending it out into the community, into the neighborhood, into the world. Continue your breathing with those thoughts in mind, allowing your breath to help with this process of opening up our hearts. In fact, every time you breathe, think about how your breath fuels your heart and how your heart is your center of compassion and openness. Anahata means unstruck, and meaning it's open, completely open. Now return to your natural breath and just stay with your breath for a couple more rounds. And then open your eyes to take in the light, slowly, purposely. And let's begin our warm-ups. So let's start with our spine in a mountain spine, your shoulders over your hips. Nice, easy seat. So find that sweet spot over your sits bones that allows you to sit. And sitting on a blanket is extremely helpful. It helps to lengthen your spine a little bit and keep it erect. Inhale, exhale, walk your left hand away from your hip, bend your elbow, right arm alongside right ear. Push your left hand into the mat and open up your heart. So instead of just going to the side, go to the side and up towards the sky and reach, opening up your heart. Inhale, feel the compassion building. And on an exhale, you're going to bring your right hand forward of your left knee, parallel arms, Look forward, inhale with straight arms. Exhale, bend your elbows and fold. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, fold. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, fold. When you fold, think of that, about bringing that love and compassion inside. Inhale, open. Slide your hands back to your knee, right hand on left knee. Turn to look over your left shoulder. You want to continue to keep that long mountain spine. And when you inhale, feel it getting longer. Feel that spine going straight up, the line going straight up to the crown of your head. And when you're empty of breath, maybe you will twist a little bit more. Take a crack at it. Try it. Bring your right hand on your left thigh, your left arm alongside your left ear, and a counter stretch in the opposite direction. And let's do the same thing here. Inhale, and then exhale, open up your heart. Open it up. Look up at the sky. Inhale, both arms to center. Release your arms. Interlace your fingers. Send your knuckles to the earth for a little baby back bend, another heart opener. Opening up your heart, allowing vulnerability to actually keep you safe and connected. Inhale and then exhale, come to fold. Fold over your legs. Let your knuckles reach out behind you. And you come as far as your body allows you this morning. Maybe your knuckles reach up for the sky. And then let your knuckles lead you back up to sit. Release your arms. Send your shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Just to release your shoulder joints a little bit. Go in the opposite direction. And then come forward again. Send your right arm out to the side. Place it on the mat. Bend your elbow. Send your left alongside your left ear. And again, push your right hand into the mat to help you open up your chest. Open it up to the sky. Inhale, exhale, place your left arm forward of your right knee, parallel arms. Inhale, look forward, straight arms. Exhale, bend and fold. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, straight arms. Slide your hands to your knee, left hand on right knee. Turn to look over your right shoulder. Same thing here. Lengthening on the inhale. Exhaling after the exhale. Twisting after the exhale. Left hand on right thigh. Right arm alongside right ear. Lateral stretch. And here again, open up your heart. Inhale, both arms to center. And bring your hands down your side. Send your legs straight out in front of you and shake them out. Rotate your legs. Point and flex your feet. And roll them from side to side, all the way up from the hip joint. Okay. And hold that. And now you're going to come around to a child's pose. place your blanket, if you like to use one, to come to your child's pose. Send your arms straight out overhead onto the mat. Extended child's pose. Look between your hands. On an inhale, you're going to lift your knees, send your hips forward, your heart between your arms. Replace or put your hands where they are so that your wrists can be under your shoulders. What I meant to say is adjust them. Okay. And you're lengthening your legs back behind you. Engage your abdominal muscles to keep you from sagging, and push into the mat with your hands to keep your shoulders from shrugging. You don't want to shrug your shoulders. Okay. Inhale, exhale, send your hips to your heels. I'm going to go right back. On an inhale, open up your heart, look forward. Exhale, hips almost to your heels, come forward again. Turn under your toes, downward facing dog. Get your perfectly aligned dogs, pushing the mat away, chest towards your thighs, heels towards the mat. Arms rotated so that the crease of your elbow is coming in and up. And then begin to walk your dog. Bend one knee and then the other so that you're walking in place. And keep your balls of your feet on the mat. Then come to your down dog. Come forward to plank, and you're going to stay here for a couple of breaths. Remember, in this pose, you're using your abs here as well, just as we did in our up dog variation. Okay, now bring your left knee to the mat. Swivel your right foot on the mat, your toes pointing away from you, and fan open to the right. Send your right arm alongside your right ear. Send your toes away from you. And stretch, a big full side body stretch from your fingertips to your toes. Feel the stretch. And then bring it down. Turn under your toes, downward facing dog. Bring your right knee to the mat. Swivel your left foot. Sole of your foot on the mat, fan open to the left. Send your arm alongside your ear, your left arm stretch from your fingers to your toes. Maybe your foot will come off the mat because you're stretching so much. Maybe it'll come up a little bit. Good. And then bring it down. And then come to stand on your knees. Okay. Come to your Tadasana spine. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Send your arms straight out to the side, your palms facing down. You're going to inhale, and on an exhale, you're going to twist over to the left. So your hips are twisting, everything's twisting except your arms. Your arms are just coming along for the ride, so they're staying straight out. So don't let your arm come in. That's a natural tendency to do. Inhale back to center, and then exhale the opposite way. Keep those arms out nice and straight. Come back to center and bring your arms down by your side. You're going to send your arms straight out back behind you. Interlace your fingers. We just did this in a seated pose. And you're going to do this now on your knees, so you'll have a lot more space here to stretch your elbows down, to straighten your arms perhaps. And opening up your heart, a bigger back bend here. And then come back to a neutral spine. If you have a block or something, a reasonable facsimile, you can place it between your legs. I have it at my thigh, at my calves, but you want it to be in a place where you could rest your knuckles on it when we do the same pose we just did. So there's a sweet spot for you where that will happen. So you'll adjust it. In the meantime, send your arms straight up. Inhale, exhale, send your right arm back behind you. Put your fingers on top of the mat. If you do not have on top of the block, if you do not have a block, then just send your fingers straight down to the mat. And look up as you send your heart upward. The advantage of the block is that you can push into it. But you can also get a wonderful, wonderful Ustrasana, camel spine this way too. Come back up to a neutral spine, and we're going to switch sides. So right arm, both arms come up. Right, no, it's the other side, right? Left arm comes down. Is that what we did? Left? Yeah, left, down. Okay, good. And use the block if you have one, or push your fingers to the earth, your fingertips to the earth, and your right fingers up to the sky. Want to try and keep your hips over your knees. And then bring your arm back down. Send your arms back behind you, interlace your fingers. And we're going to do the back bend that we did when we started here on our knees. Or if you have the block, you can send, or again, as something like the block, you can send your fingers down to the block, your knuckles, and come up into a little bit of a deeper back bend. Ustrasana, the camel pose. If you wish, you can lose the block, turn under your toes, and reach for your heels. And then come back up. Very big back bend, big heart opener, big heart opener, but it also does weird things to your back. So what you want to be, good things. But if you haven't been doing a lot of back bends, you might feel it. So you're going to come down through a table. I like to stop in table first to make this a gradual counter pose, and then send your hips to your heels. Now look up, straighten your arms. Slide your hands back to your knees and come back up to stand on your knees. Let your arms come down by your side. You're going to step your right foot forward. Bring the heels of your hands to your back waist, fingers pointing down. Walk your right foot away. You're going to inhale and you're going to exhale and slide forward with a nice long mountain back. Inhale, straight leg. Exhale, slide. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, slide. Inhale, straighten. Then bring your knee back a little bit with a bent knee and bring it back to where you found it. All right, so let's do that with our left leg. Walk it away. Inhale, exhale, slide forward. Inhale, straighten. Exhale. Inhale. And come back, walk your foot a little bit forward and bring it back. Good. All right. Do another nice heart opener from here. Inhale your arms all the way up. Bring your hands together in a prayer. Look up at your prayer. Inhale, exhale. Send your whole torso, your head, your body all the way down. You're bending your hip at the hips to come all the way down into a child's pose. And then you're going to spread your wings to lift you back up, And then open your arms out to the side, opening up your heart. Inhale your arms overhead, look up at your prayer. Inhale, exhale, hips to heels. Let your wings help you to land. Bringing that compassion inward. Inhale your arms, let your wings bring you all the way back up, and then open up your heart. Open it up. And then come back to a neutral spine. Bring your hands down to the mat, come to table position. Wrists under shoulders, arms rotated so that your crease comes towards your index finger, knees under hips, and let's begin some cats and dogs. On an inhale, you curl your spine towards the mat. On an exhale, you reach for the sky with an arching spine. Inhale and exhale. Keep it going at your own pace, noticing the shape of your body, how you're changing the shape with each cat and each dog. Next time you're in your cat spine, pause and send your hips to your heels. Slide your hands back towards your knees. Come over onto one hip or the other. Bring your legs around to come back to sit, but with your legs straight out in front of you. Come to Dandasana. Your hands alongside your hips, fingers pointing forward, elbows reaching behind you, feet are flexed, muscles active. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Send your arms straight out in front of you. Palms of your hands facing each other. You're going to inhale and slide your spine, straight spine back behind you. On an exhale, you're going to reach past your feet. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Inhale back. exhale forward. And come back to your neutral spine, release your arms. Bend your knees just a little. You're going to inhale your arms all the way up. You're going to inhale and then exhale, bring that nice flat back forward and come forward. And when you go as far as you can with that flat back, then you can curl it. Take the outside of your feet, your ankles, your calves, and maybe you'll straighten your legs. And come over into Paschimottanasana, the Western stretch. Look up at your feet. Take your right foot with your left hand and reach your right arm back behind you and find your hand. Look for your right hand. And then follow that hand as it reaches all the way up to the sky, as it comes down, and as you cross at the wrist or forearm and take hold of your left foot or ankle or calf. Release your left arm, send it behind you, look for your hand, look over your shoulder. So we're opening up our necks while we're doing this, right? So send your hand all the way up to the sky, look up, find it, bring it down, and do another crisscross. And come down over your legs, any amount. Then release your arms and let them lie alongside your legs, like you had 4 legs here. And then slowly unfold. All right. Okay. So we're going to make our way up to stand. And we're going to begin in our Tadasana, a mountain pose. Feet firmly rooted into the ground. Feel your feet flat and sturdy on the earth. Feel the crown of your head reaching for the heavens. Send your shoulders forward, up, back, and down, and let your arms fall naturally by your side to shape your mountain sides. Bring your belly towards your spine to help lift your whole spine, your ribs, help them to lift your ribs upward, allowing the crown of your head to reach higher. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. We're going to do 3 half sun salutations. Well, I'm going to stay right here because we're not moving. We're not going back yet. Inhale. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, halfway up to a flat back. Exhale, fold, bend your knees. Inhale, fly out and up and down to your heart. Twice more. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale. Exhale. Once more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, halfway. Flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up and down the central line. You're going to come a little bit farther to the front of your mat. You're still in your Tadasana spine. You're going to come on the ball of your right foot and you're going to step it back behind your left. Your knees will bend a little bit, like a curtsy, right? Arms up overhead. So right leg is behind left. You're going to take the your right wrist into your left hand and send your arm all the way over to the left. And let the weight of your left arm help your arm stretch a little bit more. Feel it in your underarm, feel it in your whole side, your ribs. Feel that. And then bring your arms back up to center, step forward. Come on the ball of your left foot, step back. Again, like you were curtsying, right? Right. Arms up overhead. Take your left wrist with your right hand and stretch over to the right. Let your right hand, the weight of your right arm, help with that stretch. Release your arms, step forward. Okay, so we're going to do a flow now, and we're going to do a few heart openers in it. And what I want to do first, before we put it into the flow, is do some poses individually so that we can see them. All right, so let's start with triangle pose. So come to wide legs. Send your toes away from you. If that's perhaps your left foot, whichever one you're working with. And try to straighten your hips at first. So these are warrior two legs, right? This is what we normally do in warrior two. But what we're going to do for triangle is you're going to put your right hand on your left hand on your left leg. So right up at the hip creaser, right? And your right hand on your right hip. So you can just put it down there, or you can take hold of your whole pelvic bone, whatever works. So notice what happens with your hip. So one thing about triangle pose, Trikonasana, is that a triangle has all straight lines, right? We can't have any curves in this triangle. So this is helping you to keep your spine straight. So, because when we just reach out, there's a tendency to curl, right? So that's why I want to start it this way. You want to have your right hip underneath your left so that your spine stays straight. So let's do that again. So you're going to bend in, you're going to turn and let the rest of your spine, of course, come with it, right? And you have that, and then all you have to do is send one arm down and one arm up. Look up at your right hand, look up. Notice all straight lines, right? All straight lines. If you wish to come lower, you have to keep that in mind. Coming down like this is not a triangle anymore. You need to keep that spine long. Extend your spine. Send your head away that way. This hip comes up. Your spine is long. Your spine stays long so that it stays square when you come down to the mat. But you don't have to. This is okay too. And bring your arms up. Let's do that on the other side. So change the position of your feet. So right hand on right thigh, left hand on left, right? And it's the same thing. We're going to shift our hips to keep our spine long and straight, and fold into hinge. You're really hinging. And then all you have to do is release your arms, look up. Once again, if you want to go lower, but this is not a requirement of triangle, but if you want to try it, you want to keep this straight. You have to keep your spine straight, so that when you come down, it's a straight line. It's a long, straight line. all right? And come back up. All right, good triangles. So the other thing we're going to do, I'm on a triangle kick today because triangles are great heart openers, so that you noticed that in that pose, your heart is wide open. It's so wide open, and you're stretching your arms, you're opening it wider. It's a beautiful heart opener. But then we're going to do a fallen triangle, okay? So a fallen triangle usually starts from downward facing dog. And if you know the pose, you can do this with me, taking obstacles out of the way. All right, so we start from a down dog. So bend your knees, bring your hands to the mat, come into down dog. Okay. So you're going to lift your left leg. I'm lifting my left leg here, sending your right heel towards the mat. I like to open up my hip first, so open up. So bend your knee, your left knee, send your left foot to your right buttock for a big, big opening. And then close it back up. Close it back up so that your knee is still bent, but your pelvis is parallel with the mat. Bring that heel back down. And then you're going to draw your left knee underneath. Bring it all the way underneath and step it outside the long edge of your mat. Swivel on your right foot, so the sole of your foot is on the mat. That's important for stability. And then fan open a fallen triangle. Look at all the triangle shapes. Bring your hand back down, bring your leg back down, and come back up. Let's do that on the other side. All right. Right leg goes up. Open up your hip, so bend your knee, send your right heel to your left buttock. And then level your hip with the mat. Draw your knee underneath and send it out to the long edge of your mat, all the way out, and then open up for a fallen triangle. And bring it back down. Come back to down dog. Walk your feet to your hands. And breathe. Breathe in the forward fold for a moment. And fly out and up. And we'll start our flow. Those poses will be in this flow. All right, so you ready? Here we go. All right, come to the top of your mat. Inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, come halfway up to a flat back. You can have your hands on your shins, your thighs, or streaming alongside your hips. Exhale, fold, send your right leg back behind you. Swivel your right leg, your right foot on the mat so that you're in warrior two legs. You're going to windmill with your right arm all the way up into your warrior two. Now let's get our alignment in warrior two. This knee does not cave in, it stays over your toes. Your back leg is long and straight, your feet are firm in the earth. Your shoulders are moving to the long edge of your mat. You're looking over your left finger, sizing up your challenge. Bring your right hand to your right thigh. Peaceful warrior. Reach your arm up and back. And now this time we're not going to stretch for our triangle. You're going to bring your left hand to your left thigh the way we did before to come into our perfect triangle. Look up at your right hand. Come back up. Warrior two. You're going to swivel. Windmill your hand back down to the mat. Swivel your back foot so you're in a low lunge. Take a breath in your low lunge. Then step your left foot back for downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up, bend your knee. Draw your knee underneath your torso, step it out to the side, swivel your left foot on the mat, open up, sorry for my back, open up to a fallen triangle. Bring your hand down to the mat, bring your leg back where it was for down dog. Step your right leg forward, 1, 2, 3, as many steps as you need to, and then help it with your hand. And step your left leg forward, hang over in Uttanasana. Take opposite elbows with your hands. And then swing from side to side. And release your hands, your arms. Fly out and up and down the center line. Okay, so let's do the other side. I know I probably want to do it on this side. Okay. Inhale, exhale. Inhale halfway, exhale, fold. Left leg goes back. Swivel, oh no. Okay, swivel your left foot on the mat. And windmill up to warrior two. Sorry about that. I wanted to be facing the camera so you could see me. Get your position, your alignment. Peaceful warrior. Windmill back down. Downward facing dog. Oh, we missed triangle. Okay. All right, back to warrior two. Straighten your leg. Bring your hand to your thigh and come to your triangle. Sorry about that. Look up at your top hand. Come back up. This time, windmill again. Bring your right leg back. Downward facing dog. You're gonna lift your left leg up. Draw it underneath you and set it out to the side of your mat. Fallen triangle. Bring your hand down to the mat, downward facing dog. Step your left leg forward, step your right leg forward, hang over. This time, shake your head, yes. Shake your head, no. Bend your knees slightly and fly out and up and down the center line. Okay. So we have another wonderful pose that I'd like us to do, which is a huge heart opener. And the pose is often referred to as flip dog or wild thing or rock star. The Sanskrit name for it is Kamatkarasana. And what that means, what that translates to, is an ecstatic opening of the heart. So what's more perfect than that, right? Okay. So come to the top of your mat. You're going to send your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold. You're going to stay here, bend your knees. Send your right leg back behind you. Send your left leg back behind you. And we're all ready for this, right? We've opened our hips. We're going to do it again. You're going to send your right leg up. You're going to open up your hip. So it's almost as if they're wanting to stack, but your right heel going to your left buttock. And they're going to stay here. And you're going to look underneath your left arm to make sure there are no obstacles in the way. And then you're going to place your right foot down outside the mat and open up, the ecstatic opening of the heart. Send your arm straight up, a big, big stretch. Inhale, exhale. Bring your foot and your hand back down and walk your feet to your hands. Fly out and up and down the center line. Okay. Let's do that on the other side. Take a breath or two. Mountain. Inhale, exhale. Bend your knees, send your left leg back behind you. Send your right leg back behind you. Downward facing dog. Get your alignment, get nice and strong in your dog. You're gonna lift your left leg this time, bend your knee, open your hip. You're gonna keep it open. Bring your right heel down towards the mat. You're going to step outside the long edge of your mat, back behind your leg, flat feet on the mat, and open up your heart. Ecstatic opening of the heart. Karmakarasana. Bring your hand down, swivel your feet. And when you get there, you're going to walk your feet to your hands. And you're going to stay bent over this time. You're going to stay in your forward fold for a moment here. You're going to bend your knees really deeply. Bring your hands to the mat. Bring one knee to the mat. Bring the other knee to the mat. And come down onto your hips. Send your legs straight out in front of you. Send your arms straight out in front of you. Palms of your hands facing each other. And you're going to count to 20 to get down onto your back. Remember to use your abs. Remember to use your forearms if you feel like you're going to fall. And no counting fast, no cheating. All right. And when you get down, bring the soles of your feet to mat. Lift your hips to lengthen your spine, your hips coming toward your heels. All right, good. All right. All right, so for all the gardeners in the room and everybody and all those who often work on their hands and the knees, we're going to do a little sciatic stretching, a little piriformis stretching, the muscle that often causes sciatica. So cross your right ankle over your left knee. And first what you're going to do is put your hand on your right knee. Your right foot is flexed. And you're going to push your knee away and then release it. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale once more. Inhale, and exhale. Now bring your left leg into your chest. Take hold of the back of your left thigh or your shin. Keep your right foot flexed. Your knee moves away from you. And extend your left leg up to the ceiling. Circle your foot. And then bring your foot to stillness. Release your arms. Reach for your calf. And then release that. Bring your left foot to the mat. Uncross your legs. Left ankle over right. Again, your left foot is flexed. You want to bring your hand to your knee. On an inhale, you'll send it away. Exhale, release it. Inhale, push it away. Exhale, release it once more. Bring your right leg into your chest. Take your hands, arms around your right leg. Interlace your fingers. Whoops, not yet. Keep your left foot flexed. And then send your leg up to the sky. Rotate your foot, point and flex. And then when it's still again, release your arms and reach for your calf. Keep your shoulders coming down to the mat if possible. And then release everything, uncross everything. And all right. Extend one leg and then the other. If you wish to do the inversion that we often do at the end of the class, then by all means, put something underneath your hips for a moment and send your legs up to the sky. Or you can come directly to Shavasana. In Shavasana, our legs are stretched straight out. They're opening naturally to the sides. Rotate your arms so that your palms can face upward. Fingers curled. Here again, open heart. Open, very open heart, very vulnerable pose, very relaxing, restful, allowing your body to reset, giving in to gravity. Om Namah Shivaya. I surrender to transformation and welcome the changes that will lead me to who I am. Deepen your breath. Begin to reawaken your body. Roll your head from side to side. Make gentle movements with your hands and your feet. Send your arms overhead, your feet away from you for a deep body yawn, big stretch. Then bring your knees into your chest and hug them and roll from side to side. And come to stillness and roll over onto your left side to expose your sun side to make your way into the day. And whenever you're ready, come up to sit. Take your time. Bring your hands to your heart. Let's take all this energy and the opening of our heart out into the world, out into our home, into our community, all this compassion. And let's hope that we can spread it around so that everyone will find compassion enough to care about others as they do themselves. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.